Now, for many years, most professional cyclists, regardless of their size, would actually put at least 120mm stem on their bike. Reason being, normally they thought it was faster or more aerodynamic. But what I want to know is this still the case? Or have pros changed? Let's go and find out. Now, for a cyclist with average reach, the following stem lengths can loosely be suggested with the horizontal top tube lengths listed. However, most pros, they don't really have an average reach, or they're not average cyclists. However, they do ride their bikes for long periods, day in, day out. So obviously comfort is a key factor here, and being stretched out unnecessarily, that's not something they're necessarily going to do. Okay, I'm here with Adam Blythe, a guy who, by all accounts, has got quite a big stem. So how do you go about choosing that stem length for yours? Because it's quite a whopper, isn't it?
It is very big stem, yeah. The stem chose me, mate. I didn't choose that. No, it's just I like a long reach and quite a low head tube. So to get on a small bike with a low head tube and get the length still, which is important, I had to use 150 with a negative 17 drop. So yeah, that's why. 150
minus 17 degree. That is some position. Have you ever played around? Have you ever had a bike fit?
No.
He's never had a bike fit, but he just rolls with it.
Taki and Bartoli are my bike fit. Just look at them, and that's how to do it.
Right, and the results, they speak for themselves well, don't they? Former British road race champ. He does the business. Have you ever, though, experimented with a different length, or are you just sold on the look?
I've experimented with a different length. I've gone a bit shorter, but on a bigger bike, and it was just too high. So yeah, I had to slam it back down and get long again.
So it's all about the slam for Adam.
It is, yeah. Love a nice slam long stem, yeah.
Stem length. What determines how you choose yours?
Well, for the width of the handlebar, I choose always a little bit the slower one, not too wide, that I'm not too much aero, and yeah, for the length, it's a little bit about your position. You have to feel comfort, you have to feel good, you have to be also aero. We make tests in the winter, and after that we decide how long we make our handlebars.
Okay, so you play around quite a bit then, trying to find that optimal position, a mixture of comfort as well as the aerodynamics.
Yeah, and it's also like for me, I don't change a lot in my position. Like I have my position now since 5-6 years. Sometimes I make some tests, but I would say the last 5-6 years I was more or less on the same position.
Dylan, how do you go about choosing the length of your stem? Because it's quite long on there, it's 130mm. Is it through a bike fit or just feel?
Yeah, we did a bike fit with the team on training camp. We have also, every rider has a bike fit, so yeah, I do the same, and yeah, I think it is okay. We're looking for a sprint position, and then we take, this is aerodynamic, it's okay for me, so yeah.
Okay, so it's nice and low. Have you ever gone a little bit shorter or a little bit longer just to see how it feels, or you just do a bike fit and that's it?
I do a bike fit, but it's a little bit longer. I liked it, so it's my style, so yeah, I prefer that.
Cool. Long and low, yeah?
Yeah, very low. I sit very low, but it is aerodynamic and it's good for a sprinter.
As a general rule of thumb, I go the smallest frame possible with as much stem and as much seat post hanging out. Just smaller frames, a little bit lighter, a little bit stiffer. So yeah, if I can get between a 12 and a 14 centimetre stem, then for me that's the right size bike.
Yeah, so I mean, years ago we used to see riders, put a 140 on, they'd be long and low. Do you have a bike fit, say, to see how that, if that affects your power output, that kind of thing?
No, we're not to affect power output, but the guys that we use at Team Katusha Alpecin are Staps, and they sort of rig us all up, look at all the angles, and they know from extensive research, like a lot of riders, what kind of is close to working, like a knee angle, but then they do take into account how each rider's a little bit different and stuff, and they obviously think about what our feedback, what's comfortable for us as well.
Yeah, because obviously you're on a bike for hours and hours a day. If you're not comfortable, ultimately that's the it could be a huge sacrifice, couldn't it? Have you ever put the wrong stem on there and been like, oh no, this is terrible?
Yeah, I've made the mistake of going lower and lower because because it's cool, because I have a slam stem, looks good, but then I just find I don't use the drops, and I'm a little uncomfortable reaching for the hoods, and it's just not worth it.
Okay, I'm here with Bram Tankink here. He's just starting his 18th year as a pro rider. Bram, what determines your stem length on your bike?
It's a good question. Yeah, you have all these guys, you know, the specialists in bike fitting, and it's more or less they decide. You need this one or this one, and then I'm always like, if the bike fitter says you have to be like this on the bike, it's the best position. Okay, who am I to decide otherwise? But still, you always think a little bit about it. Now, actually, this is the first year after 18 years. I decided by my own to change my stem length in 1 centimeter longer, and it's awesome. I think from this is the best position. From now on, I can go, you know, really fast.
Okay, so you've actually noticed a difference then by putting that extra 10 millimeters on. It gives you a bit more power, do you think, or a bit more aerodynamics?
It's a huge difference. If I would have done it before, I would have won the tour already 3 times, I think. But yeah, it's, you know, it's life. Eh?
So back when you started 18 years ago as a pro, was everyone riding 140mm stems in the bunch? Do you remember that? Everyone, you know, they were long and low, weren't they? Quite stretched out.
I think so. It tends to be longer. Also, especially the position behind the saddle. It was far more behind the saddle. Bikes also started to build bikes more backwards. Once they thought that it was a better position, but actually it isn't. And Armstrong, he started to go forward again. And so I have always a position a little bit to the front.
So for the ease of explaining our findings, let's look at the size 56cm top tube bikes, as they're the most common sized in the random selection of 50 from the peloton. These 56cm top tube bikes make up, surprisingly, 56% of the bikes surveyed. So using the methodology on the suggested average rider stem length, the results can be seen here. 28% of the 28 riders using 56cm top tubes are using the recommended stem length of 120mm. However, the majority of riders are using stems of 130mm and above. They make up 64% of the riders surveyed. So there we are, some interesting answers and also some quite funny ones as well. Let me know your funniest ones in the comments down below. And it's not really that surprising that their stem lengths are like that. Considering they spend so much time on the bike, they kind of morph into one with the bike itself. Now remember as well to like and share this video with your friends, and for another great video, this time why pros don't slam their stems, click down here. Yep, sometimes they don't slam them.